welcome. My name is Alonda Carter and I am the Recovering Hunbot. I create anti-MLM videos, so if you enjoyed that type of content, you might want to consider subscribing. Today's video, I lift up the hood and I share with you the inner workings, so to speak, of Beachbody Huns who are trying to help each other. Now, these are lower tiered Huns that are really wanting this business to work, and you and I both know that it's not going to, but I want to give you that insider's look so you can see what people are talking about. If you would like to support me as a creator, the very best way you can do so is through my Patreon. I've created 3 tiers. They're all very reasonable, ranging from $1 to $10 a month, and literally any amount helps. You'll be helping me out get better equipment, and also I am working on developing a very comprehensive survey that I then will, analyze and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully be able to write up an article and who knows, maybe be able to present at a conference sometime. And I want to give a special shout out to my latest patron, Red. Thank you so much. You come in at the White Bayou level. Thank you so very much for supporting me. Now, before we get to the good stuff where I'm, sharing with you what Huns are saying to each other, I do want to share something with you because I really want you to think about this. No matter what level you are in any MLM, you have been played, so to speak. I mean, everyone, when they come in, it's all designed. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, this is all designed. It's designed to fool you. It's designed to, get your attention. It's designed so that you want to do it. That's all part of the overall scheme that's put in this. When you look back at the history, and if you saw my interview with Robert Fitzpatrick, he goes deep into the history. All of this started with someone having a background in pop psychology and someone else in sales. And so all of that stuff is infused within every MLM. Plus, there's like religious aspects as well. So there's a lot of different, there's prongs, it's a web. I mean, you can describe it in so many different ways. But all of that's going on, and everyone who joins is impacted socially and psychologically. That's why I'm bringing in my anthropology background, and also why I'm sharing with you, some of the psychological type aspects, because those are things that we don't think about. Now, one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of, especially on Instagram, is people are just showing these people's faces and talking about them. And to me, quite frankly, that just really seems like bullying behavior. And I just don't think it's tasteful. And I want you to think, what if that was your best friend and you saw your best friend being talked about in that way? Forget that this person is a Hunbot, and forget the fact that you just can't stand that behavior. You would be hurt, and she would be hurt. These are real people, and that's why I'm diving into the behind the door, so to speak, because I want you to realize that I don't care what level someone's at. That's a real person. They have friends, they have family, they have feelings. And if you're just going to make fun of them, I really don't think you're doing anything better than what they're doing. I really feel like it's being a bully, and I just don't think that's cool. So I want you to think about that these are people, and that basically they've been brought into this scheme. At some point, coercive persuasion was pulled on them. Now, what may happen is what's called cognitive dissonance, especially if we're talking about like a higher tier type Hun. At some point, they do know that what they're doing, they're sucking money off of people who are not having success. But psychologically, at the same time, they're thinking, oh, well, I was able to do it, and they bought into all those things that we hear from MLM about how anyone can do it. You just have to, put your nose to the grindstone. All those sort of things, that to them has become reality, and they've absorbed it to be the truth. So they're acting from a place where they believe they are speaking the truth, because that's their mental model of the truth. They haven't woken up, and they may not be able to because they are so deep in. And does it do anyone any good to be mean and cruel to these people for the sake of being mean and cruel? Because I really don't feel like it's going to do anything to actually help anyone. You know that saying, you can get more flies with honey than you can vinegar? It's the same with this. No one ever changes their mind about something if you just yell at them, if you just tell them that they're being a horrible person. That is not the way to get to people. A better way to approach it is with some understanding, some care, and educating yourself on how did all of this happen. And that's what I'm seeking to do, is to help educate you so that you are aware of these things, so that when you see them, you'll be reminded that, oh yeah, this is what's going on with these people. So I hope that makes some sense. So now we're going to go ahead and get into this whole little thing about what Huns are saying. And I'll tell you this, when I read all of this, all I thought was, that was me. This was me. And this might have been you too. Again, it's all designed. All of this is very, very structured. And so let's go ahead and see what's going on, and I will give you, my 2 cents, 10 cents, whatever amount of cents. I'm going to give you some insight on it.
Okay, what I did was I put the post on the right hand side and I pulled out of it words that I thought was important. And when I look at this, I will say I just see myself. Vulnerable post, but trying to keep it short and to the point. I've been a coach for 4 years and have never truly gone all in. 2019 was the hardest of those years. I've been in a big rut since Summit-ish. Summit is the annual conference, with not only my business, but even my own health fitness journey. I've been super inconsistent in both and have just let every little excuse or circumstance keep me down. Despite that, I've never once thought about quitting. I still love Beachbody, our products, our community, etc. And honestly, it makes me sick and so mad that I've just sat on this opportunity without diving in. It's time to change that. I'm leaving my full-time job in March after I get married, and I'm just so ready but feeling lost. I've learned a lot in my last 4 years as a coach, but I'm struggling in the application of it all. On top of that, there's a lot of shame in the fact that I haven't been posting or keeping up my conversations. I feel like all my followers think I'm a fraud. I go throughout my day thinking of posts or creating a to-do list with my Success Club tracker, and then when I sit down at my computer, I just stare at the screen. Just wondering if anyone has had a similar starting over experience. What worked to help you start doing again? Or even if you haven't started over, but when you were a new coach, what were your biggest tips that helped you get going? I know a lot of my insecurities need to be faced head on through personal development. Any recommendations? Honestly, even kind words of encouragement will help at this point, I think. Thanks for letting me reach out. For 4 years, this woman has been paying her coaching fee. I bet she's been buying Shakeology month after month. She probably has had Beachbody on demand for at least 2 years. So most likely, being conservative, she has spent around $6,000, and that doesn't include going to Summit. That doesn't include going to Super Saturday, the quarterly little meetings. That doesn't include if she bought beach bars or anything from the performance line, or if she got certified in some of the programs. It doesn't include any of that. But she spent a chunk of change, But do you see how she's putting the blame on herself? Because this is a wonderful opportunity. I want you to think about those words, wonderful opportunity. That whole idea of extended reciprocity, this is where it comes in. Because you see this as a gift. And when you're given a gift, what do you want to do? You want to give in return. You perceive that everything is okay, everything's balanced reciprocity, but it's really unbalanced because you're getting far less than what you're getting, but because of the community, because of this, because of that, all of these things, she really feels like she's been given so much. And so she owes it to herself and to the opportunity to go all in. And what bothers me the most is the whole, personal development, turning to that, because personal development further strengthens the bond to multi-level marketing. It keeps you entrapped. Just here to say, same. I'm not sure the answer. I'm trying to just do it, lol. 2020's word is consistency. Hopefully that helps. Good to know I'm not alone. We got this. My word is persist. Same. You're definitely not alone. My word is fearless. To try to remember to show up even when I'm scared. Hey girls, if we want, we can follow each other and try to help, support, get ideas from each other, etc. Same here too, except I did quit, but felt the burning passion to come back, and here I am. Let's crush it. Same. I'm the same. So here we have consistency, fearless, getting support, ideas, crushing it, and we got this. Do you see how they're all reinforcing the myth with each other? Because these are Huns at the same level. This is not higher tiered Huns, because they're not going to reach down and pull anyone up. This people who are at the bottom, desperately wanting this to work and not realizing that they have been ensnared in a trap, and their job is to keep on paying into the system. I love our products, but I was always too scared to coach. It wasn't until recently that I took the leap. What really pushed me was a coworker. She commuted an hour every day and only saw her kids at night. She was miserable. She wanted a different job but was too scared. I didn't want that. I don't have kids, but plan to in the upcoming year or so. I want to be home for my kids. That desire is way stronger than any excuse. I'm doing this for my family. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. This experience you're going through is preparing you for something, to help someone in the future to reevaluate your goals. I don't know, but you can do this. You're part of our team for a reason. You're exactly where you need to be, and we're all here to help you along the way, love. We got this. Oh my God, thank you so much. I definitely am doing this to be able to stay at home with my future kids too. And even before kids, as soon as my soon-to-be hubby works in law enforcement. Once we're married and living together, if I continue my full-time job, we literally won't see each other at all. That's not a marriage I want. Your words are so uplifting. Thank you so much. As for the fraud part, what a relatable story. Who hasn't dropped the ball on something? Share that part in social media. People relate to that. They see you're not perfect. You're human just like them. What's the worst that could happen? Someone relates to you and is inspired to also change their lives? Good idea, girl. Thank you. Ooh, ha. Sipping on my Jamba smoothie. Ha. First, again, it goes back to shaming people for working a job. And there's a lot of people, I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of people doing some jobs they don't like. But guess what? They pay the bills. They pay you, unlike MLM where you bust your hump week after week, month after month, and you're not getting anything in return for it. And you're certainly not getting any benefits. But you can see they are under the belief that MLM is somehow better. Beachbody is better. Beachbody is the savior. Beachbody is going to save them from all of their woes. Now, in terms of not seeing your husband, my husband and I, we have opposite schedules, And if I did MLM, guess what? That would mean the little bit of time we have with each other, I would be too distracted because I'd be looking at my phone. I'd be thinking I needed to be working my business. She thinks that, Beachbody is going to free her, but the reality is it will only trap her. And yes, by all means, please use that relatable story because you know what? people are so going to be drawn to you, moth to a flame, right? Yeah, but you have hope. And hope is a big thing when you're an MLM. You need to keep that hope alive, because by keeping that hope alive, you keep paying into the system. You keep that extended reciprocity going. You keep that unbalanced reciprocity going because you believe that you have so much. You haven't been given anything other than an opportunity to pay for someone else. As if I wrote it myself, we can help each other keep going. Yes, I really need this year to be the year. Same. I'm so over not moving forward. I get married in March and he's in law enforcement, so we decided to have me home because literally would not see each other like at all if I kept my full-time nanny position. And then she gets her Instagram. I'm part-time. I only work Monday and Tuesday, then home with the kiddos the rest of the week. I struggle with setting that routine of non-negotiables because I know it won't be the same every day. So I just don't ever set time for it. Okay, so now you're helping each other. Non-negotiables. When I hear non-negotiables, I basically want to take an ice pick and just poke out my eyeballs because it just feels so gross. And that ties into, at least for Beachbody, the Power Hour. Now, if you were in MLM, I don't know if you did Power Hour or not. If you did, let me know in the comments. I'm going to skip down towards the bottom. Don't necessarily think I'm starting over, but I've struggled building a team since I started 4 years ago. I want this so badly to work, but essentially feel like I start from scratch every year, so I'm with you. Yeah, I literally hit a rut, and literally my momentum with posts and conversations is at a standstill. That's why I feel like I'm starting over, but I agree. I've got one amazing coach that I've sponsored, but since I'm in a rut, I think she's in one too. Yeah, she is. You both are, and I doubt you're going to get out of the rut. I mean, I really hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is not built for you to win, but you're in that belief. It goes back to you believe so, and you want it. You want it so much. But the thing is, you don't realize what you're wanting, because if it worked, you would really become a terrible person, because then you would perpetuate this system on other people, and you don't want to do that. Yes, I have 3 that are amazing, but for some reason, I'm lacking the coaching side of things. I have struggled there since the beginning. I know I can do it. I am so determined. Okay, you're struggling with that since the beginning, but yet you know you can do it, and you've been doing this how long? You haven't woken up and realized maybe it is the system and it's not you, because it's not you. It's not you. And then there's a recommendation to do the Bombshell Training Academy, to just go and do the training like you're a brand new coach. And I'm going to tell you this. Anytime you have to go back and do any of their janky training for any MLM, all you're doing is wasting time. All you're doing is spinning your wheels. You're thinking that you are getting momentum. You're thinking that you're picking up. You think that you're taking action because you literally don't know what else to do, because nobody really wants any of this stuff. But you bought into the dream mentally, Well, it was like I was reading about myself. I am literally going on my 5th year as a coach, and much like you, I have wasted my years letting this beautiful opportunity slip by me and still sitting as a struggling emerald. I have posted regularly all the while and sell here and there, but I always freeze when it comes to the inviting portion, which is the most important part. So many things I should have, could have, would have been doing. My heart sinks when I think about it. I have come close to quitting, but I love this business too much. So I also just left my job in March of 2019 and desperate to get it under control. I struggled with implementation, but finally gave myself the wake-up call and shook myself straight. It is up to me to make this work. Google everything, watch YouTube videos, make sure I read and listen to as much personal development as possible, and find a way. It is up to me, and I know I can do this. Break through, and once you do, you will start to see a ripple effect. It is super scary, but I'm ready to make waves, and I believe you can do it too. 5th year, and you're struggling as an emerald. That's 2 people underneath you. Now, I don't know if this person signed up her boyfriend or husband and her best friend or her sister, but you're taught to sign up 2 people that you know so you can work them too. So now you can work 3 businesses. But what you end up doing is you're just paying more money. Most people, unless you have some kind of influence and you have some kind of network, doing that really just doesn't help. All right, ladies, we all can hop on a call one day and maybe start a mastermind group. See if we can all mesh together and probably stop letting this opportunity pass us by. See, they've been given the gift, and they feel they have to give in return. They are the problem. That's what they see. They are the problem. Now, in case you didn't know this, the concept of mastermind comes from Napoleon Hill. You may have heard of the secret or the law of attraction. Basically, those come straight out of our boy Napoleon Hill. Our boy Napoleon, he came up with something that really has stuck around. If you simply visualize what you want out of life, those things will be delivered to you, especially if those things involve money. Now, it's said that he was the advisor to 2 presidents and that he helped, FDR come up with one of the more famous quotes. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. There's no proof of any of that. In fact, he was a charlatan. There's no evidence that he met anyone famous. No evidence that he was, an advisor to 2 presidents. There's no evidence of that sort of stuff. And I will put a link to an article that I found out all about Napoleon Hill. But the truth be told, it was in a conversation with David Brer, who has the blog MLM, The American Dream Made Nightmare. And he's the one that told me about what a fake Napoleon Hill was. And I just kind of went, wow. And it just kind of all clicked. It's like, oh my gosh, it's all part of the scam. Personal development is part of the scam. That's what I'm saying. Yep, I said it. Okay, so this dude Hill, he had an automobile college, but people couldn't find a job. And so they, alleged fraud, and the college ended up closing down. In a 1912 magazine called Motor World, there's an article that describes the overall scam that Hill was running. For instance, there was the automobile agency plan in which courses prepare you to earn a particular amount of income. And by being a student, you would become a sales agent and you could earn $400 on each car you sell. Plus, you could earn money for each person that you sign up into the automobile agency plan. Does that sound vaguely familiar? I'm going to put the link to that article, like I said, because I'm not going to get into all of these things. But so much of what Hill, quote, taught has spilled over into MLM. And like I said, Think and Grow Rich, that is like a mainstay in the MLM library, so to speak. Robert Cialdini, I'm probably not saying the name right. I don't know how to say it. Sorry. His book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. I want to say it's the 3rd or the 4th chapter is commitment and consistency. Typically, it is in our best interest to be consistent. First of all, it offers us a shortcut. Once we make up our minds, we turn on that consistency tape. By turning on our consistency tape, we know what to believe, say, or do. Whatever our decision was, we only need to believe, say, or do that we are consistent with it. It all works together. MLM is this, quote, opportunity. Beachbody has great products and is a great opportunity. Keep this in your head so you believe it. And what better way to do it than surround yourself with like-minded people? Get everybody else who's believing the same thing, and that's going to spin the same crap, I don't know if you've heard of transcendental meditation or not, but Cialdini went to a presentation on it. And I didn't realize this, but I think it was sometime I was researching something, or maybe it was when I was listening to Chris Shelton. I don't remember, but transcendental meditation has been considered a cult. And there's nothing wrong with meditation per se, but it's like it's how it's being used. In transcendental meditation, it involves, paying for courses and blah 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 blah. Anyway, so Cialdini goes, and one of his buddies goes with him, who specializes in symbolic logic. Hey, high five! I did symbolic logic, and that's what I took for my college math, symbolic logic. Okay, so this dude knew symbolic logic and statistics. Well, he saw flaws in the arguments that were being presented by the transcendental meditation gurus and started asking questions, and they couldn't really answer the questions. So you would think at the end, when it was like, okay, you can buy our courses, that people would like walk out the door. It had the opposite effect. People had a problem, and they believed that transcendental meditation would solve it. People have a problem with work or whatever and believe multi-level marketing will solve it. So these people rushed to pay to take this transcendental meditation course. And they did it because they knew if they would stop and think about it, that they wouldn't. So they shut down their thinking by taking action. Think about that.
I hope listening to this, you see that these Huns, they're just people. So the next time that you are wanting to just like hop on a Hun and tear them all to pieces for whatever janky stuff that they're doing on social media, remember this conversation. They're just women, mostly, there's a lot of women doing this thing. These are women who, like you, like me, want to have a happy life, want to do things for their family, and they think they're doing the right thing through this opportunity, and they believe it. I believed it one time. Maybe you did too. So remember that. Remember what it's like to hold that belief. Also remember that there's a system that's operating on these people. It's coercive persuasion. It's mind control. It's thought reform. It's all of this stuff that is happening over and over and over again. And these women want to fit in because they're looking at those higher level Huns who look like they have this marvelous life, and they're dreaming of that. They honestly are, because they think that those women have it all together. But let's just think about those women who are at the top. They may know that not everybody's going to make it, and most people aren't. But the thing that kicks in is cognitive dissonance. Even though they may have evidence right in front of them that not everyone can do it, they manage to do it. And so they have to hold that belief that it's possible for other people because they did it. And they have to hold the belief that this really is a good opportunity because they're making money off of it. There's a lot of things at play here, and those women who are at the top are equally victims, just like the ones at the bottom, because it's all the system in and of itself. In fact, those at the top are being used by the company to further perpetuate the myth and to further get people to believing it more and more, so they keep self-consuming. They keep buying the product. The only way out of MLM is if you wake up and realize it, or you run out of money and time. That's my opinion on it. I hope this makes some sense to you, and I will be going more into consistency and commitment, because that's a part of all of this thing. Because there are persuasive techniques that are being used on people, on all of the Huns, no matter the level. And when I say being used on, it's more that they're being misused. They're being used in a way that they shouldn't be used. But that's the whole dilemma of MLM. You don't know what's happening. You have no idea that these elements are being used against you, socially and psychologically. And I think it's important that we examine those things. And maybe, just maybe, we can stop some of this perpetuated hating on the Huns, because I really have had my fill with people just being what I consider to be cruel to other people. Because, you know, it feels good to sit on your high horse, doesn't it? And to cast judgment on other people. That you're so much better than anyone else because you're not doing what they're doing. But maybe you did at some point, and maybe you're awake now, but does that give you the right just to go hate on other people? Hate the system. Hate the fact that undue influence is being used. Hate the fact that there are these coercive persuasion techniques being misused on people. And seek to understand that stuff so that you can recognize it and that you can learn from it and share that with others. It's really not the Huns' fault. The fault lies in the overall method that's used on them. If you like this type of content, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will be notified each and every time I upload a video. Remember, it is up to us. If we want there to be a change in the world, we can use our voices. Your voice matters. Your voice counts. Use it wisely. And remember, change starts now.